What's going on, guys? This is it. This is the last video in the series. In this video, I spend some time doing a little cleanup on the trunk, making everything look better. I have to repair a panel. I paint between where the trunk opens along the sides there. But you'll see. You'll just check out the video. Alright, you guys, I did not do a very good job at masking off this trunk, but I'm going to go ahead and paint in between the blue lines. Here, I'll show you. If I'm going to have my trunk popped all the time, I want it to at least look okay. I got a bunch of seam sealer in here where I fixed my trunk was leaking a while back. So this is all good. I sanded it down a little bit. It's not going to look great, but I want it to be at least white, so I'm going to paint all of this all in here, down there, and along there. I did a really bad job at masking this off, but I'm just going to be really careful with my paint can and try not to spray in all these areas. Alright, here's what it looks like after 3 coats. Still looks really bad, but you know it looks better than it did. I got some runs back here, but I don't really care. And it looks bad there too, but that's okay, because the rest of the trunk looks good. What's up, guys? It has been so long since I recorded me doing the flip-flop hinges on the trunk. Actually, it's been really long since I started the trunk. I think I started it in May of this year, and it's now October. So this has just kind of been a slow thing that I've been working on throughout the summer, and I guess now the fall. I took a break from it for a while, but I knew this was going to happen. I knew I was going to have to do something a little bit more permanent about the flip-flop hinges, so I'll show you what's going on. If you take a look here, it really wasn't very sturdy, so I shoved some Scotch right behind there just as a temporary solution. But you can see, like, this whole thing isn't going very well. These self-tappers are kind of stripped out now on both sides, and what I'm actually going to do, I might put a third screw in down here, but maybe not. First, what I'm going to do is just take these out and put in a couple of riv nuts with actual bolts and see how that holds up. So I'm going to go ahead and get started on that. Alright, so now you can see no more Scotch-Brite stuck back there anymore. It looks a lot better. I still might put a hole behind this one, maybe, and then put like something in between there. Maybe not though. It's actually pretty strong. Same with here. As you can see, if I move it, there's still a little bit of play, but that's just the play in this piece. This is that's in there really sturdy, and this is in there really sturdy. Like there's no movement there, so I think we should be fine with just the two on both sides. And yeah, if I have any other problems, I can do the same thing up here to these two as well. These are self-tappers in here, but these seem pretty strong, so I don't think I'm going to need to do it up there. It's just down here where all the pressure was that it was pulling those out. Alright, you guys, my next goal is to get some Velcro down here in the back so that this thing stops sliding forward and messing up the floor. So I'm going to do that for both boxes, but I'm going to start on this left side. I paused the camera to go get the Velcro, and then I forgot to record it, but so far I just have the soft pieces underneath here, and then I'm going to stick these and then set the sub back down, and that'll kind of put everything where it needs to go. So I'm going to peel off this one. It almost worked. Okay, so that's not going to work at all. I need something better. Alright, so here Here's what I'm going to try for this. I have the Velcro under there, and I'm just going to use a little hot glue on the Velcro to try to stick it to this carpet because it won't stick. Made a little mess, but hopefully that works. There we go. And this side, I was about to do this side, and then I realized this side never moved out. I've kind of always wondered why, but then I kind of thought about it. This rubs when it closes. This part right here rubs on the amp, and it actually is touching the amp when it's closed, so it's holding the amp down, and that box never moves. So don't have to worry about that one, just this side. Now, the next thing that I want to do is fix this because it's scratched all over. It has nicks in it and dents from the subwoofer sliding over and setting tools on it and a whole bunch of stuff just from working on the trunk, but really only that panel is messed up, so I'm going to pull this out and rewrap it. And I have a few leaking fittings back here that need to be replaced, so I'm going to replace those as well. The other thing that I'm going to do is pull out the spare, and I'm going to put in the water traps, and I'm going to kind of rearrange everything so I can fit my toolbox in there and get the spare in and out easily. So I accidentally ripped the molding off on this side, so that's going to have to probably sit for a while, probably overnight, so I'm just going to work on that a different time. But for now, we're going to go ahead and start working on this stuff. So now I'm going to attempt to pull this out. Now we need to start swapping these out. I think this one was leaking.
Ice cold, I'm swimming against the tide. I wanna forget you, but you pull me in. I know this ocean is.
Okay, so now all of my fittings have been replaced, all of the leaking ones. So hopefully this doesn't have any more leaks, and we should be good to go. Now I do want to mention, before I mentioned that I was going to reach out to bag riders and see if they would replace them. I ended up not doing that. I just put it off for however long, and it's been so long since I originally ordered them, so I just ordered new ones from bag riders. They're kind of expensive, but they're definitely the best price that you can get anywhere. So I definitely do recommend bag riders. They're not like a sponsor or anything, but they have the best price for fittings. And they did reach out to me via email and ask how my trunk setup build was going, which I thought was really cool. I never replied, but maybe I should do that once I'm done. So, we'll see. What's going on, guys? It's another day. I say that all the time, but it really is. And I am mixing up Bondo, and I'm going to fix this piece that got all messed up. Here, let me show you kind of what's going on. So this got all dented from my subwoofer shooting across the back. This I peeled the wrap off of it, obviously. This is really rough now, so what I'm going to do is Bondo these dents in here in the side. I know I could just build another one of these, but this is actually going to be less work in the end. But I'm going to Bondo up these two sides, and then I'm just going to hit this with the DA sander to get this smooth again. And I'm actually going to paint the whole thing, so that way if I have to peel the wrap again, it's not going to like peel the material off with it again. So I'm going to go ahead and start mixing some Bondo. Now while that Bondo is drying, I'm going to go ahead and clean up this mess in here. Get it a little more organized. before I throw the spare tire back in there, I just want to show you guys what I did. So I just cut the lines to length, so now this line runs down here and underneath here and comes around, and then these lines are all a little bit shorter, and well, not all of them, just a couple of them. So those all sit like this now. And then if you look over here, this is the wiring harness for the airlift. I don't want to cut this wiring harness, so that's why there's so much of it running around. I'm not cutting it just because they're so expensive and I don't want to mess something up. So I'm just leaving it like this. It's totally fine. I just have everything zip tied. I got my amp wires and the LED wires and stuff like that. Everything's just zip tied all around here in a circle. And now I can fit the spare tire in there cleanly. And we're gonna go ahead and hook up the water traps and stuff as well. Oh, one more thing that I have to do that I haven't done is I'm just gonna put an inline fuse on the LED lighting just to be safe. I'm just gonna put like a small 7 amp fuse in there or something. I'm not entirely sure what I should use on these, but I just feel like it's a good idea to have a fuse on those LEDs.
Standing on the edge of a cliff, realize there must be more.
Alright, so this is it. I got both water traps in there. It's obviously not beautiful, but everything's kind of neatly arranged, and I can pull all the spare out if I need to. There's nothing blocking the spare in now, which is really cool. So all I gotta do is just finish this piece that goes right here, and we should be good to go. Now that this is dry, we're gonna sand it down with 320 grit and then paint it. Alright, but it's not perfect, but you can see all the nail holes are filled in and the dents are filled in as well. And this is really smooth. These dents, this side had more dents, you can see that they're filled in, and it actually feels really smooth. It's not going to be 100% perfect when it's wrapped, but it's going to look pretty good. It's actually going to look better than this because I'm about to paint it right now, and you'll see that. Now that this is dry and sanded down and ready to go, I'm going to wipe it down to get it ready to get most of the dust off. Now that that's dry, we're going to wipe it down with some tack cloth and then paint it with some filler primer. So as you can see, it's not really filling in the best. It looks really, really fuzzy still. But I'm just going to continue painting it, and then hopefully once I wrap it, well, what I'll do is I'll paint it all the way, and I'll wrap just a part of it. And if that spot looks bad, then I'll take that wrap off and I'll sand the whole thing down and then wrap it again. But we'll see what happens. Here's what it looks like right now. Still really fuzzy and a little bit streaky. But you know, I think this is going to be good enough for what I need to use it for. It's getting wrapped over, and I'm thinking that the wrap should look at least as good as it did before I peeled it off. Or when I first wrapped it, as a matter of fact. So I'm going to stop here, and we're just going to go with this and see what happens. I'm not going to show you me wrapping this again, because obviously I already showed you that in this video. But I will show you the finished product. I just wanted to show you this before I start wrapping it. But this is actually really, really, really rough. So if I wrapped this right now, it would look pretty bad. So I'm actually just going to hit this with 320 grit sandpaper again, just to sand it down. These sides are perfect. I can wrap right over these. But this is not. So I'm just going to go ahead and sand this down and then wrap it, and I'll show you the finished product. Alright guys, I'm super excited to show you all this. This is it. This is the finished product. I am so happy right now. It's been so long since I started this. It's been like, I don't know, 6 months or something. This is so cool. Finally done. That's it, guys. Thank you so much for watching. This was something completely new to me. I've never bent hard lines. I've never done like any kind of woodwork or made any boxes, carpeted anything before. This is completely new to me. I've never worked with these kind of fittings down here that go into the floor. I've never done any kind of trunk setup before. So if I've done anything wrong, I do apologize, but I think it looks really, really good. And I really appreciate you guys watching. I appreciate all your support. If you liked the video, make sure that you give it a thumbs up. Make sure that you subscribe to the channel and possibly share the video if you don't mind. And once again, thank you for watching. Peace out.